Hi and welcome to another Memories Made video. I'm designer Jen Gallacher and today we are going to do a camping layout and we're going to just have some fun and play with some fun tools and just try a couple of different things. Part of the thing of documenting your memories is if you're not enjoying the process, then it's not as fun to create. So one of the first things we're going to use is this fun stamping tool, and I'm going to use some Stampin' Up! Stamping ink. You can use whatever ink you want. And the way that this roller stamp works is you drag it across the stamping ink pad and then you can just run it on your layout. And I'm not going to worry about how it looks or the placement. I'm just going to randomly do it over the layout. And you could use a matching ink or you could do a contrasting ink. I'm using brown because it's a camping layout. So that's a fun tool if you haven't tried it yet. I'll be sure and link you to options that have tools like this. Another tool that I recently purchased that I'm really having fun with is a new punch, and it is a triangular punch, and it's from EK Success. Now when I am using punches, I like to use 6x6 paper pads, and I have this Happy Camper 6x6 paper pad from Echo Park Paper. And there are a lot of fun double-sided sheets in here, 2 of each one. And what I will do is I will rip out the sheet and then I will use my punch upside down. By using it upside down, it allows me to see where I am punching. So you can see I can quickly and easily punch triangles. And you could use this upside down like a tent. I'm going to use it this side. And then I wanted to show you something fun that you can do with your punch, and that is that you can punch the shape. And then I'm going to be layering a couple of these triangles, and so what I did is I took my scoring board. This is a Martha Stewart scoring board, and I placed my triangle between 2 of the numbers so that the point of the triangle can be scored down the center. And then I just take the scoring tool, which is attached, and score down the center. And then I'll fold it in half. Now instead of stopping there, I wanted to use a slightly smaller triangle. So I just use my scissors and I hand cut it, and then I open it like this, and that allows me to layer. So I can take the little triangle and I can layer a folded element on top, and I can place it however I want. So let's start to put some elements on the page. So here is some 12 by 12 pattern paper from the same collection by Echo Park Paper, and I've cut it so that I can use these cool chevron shapes on the edge of my layout. And now I'm going to start adding triangles around the page, and I've pre-punched a bunch of different triangles so you can see me assemble them quickly, and then I will just randomly place them on the layout. And by random, I mean just that. You can just start layering them. And the nice thing about this kind of free-form design is that it just allows you to use scraps and decorate things how you wish. You can layer some of the folded triangles. That's a smaller triangle. And I'm trying to bring in some of the colors from this strip on the side. You can see that I'm not worrying about how I'm placed. I do know I'm going to put my photo here, so I'm going to leave that a little bit more open. Just put them however I want. So I want to add a little bit of machine stitching to the project. And so I am going to machine stitch down some of these triangles and come back and show you what it looks like. So I thought you might want to see how I stitch on my layout. So I have white bobbin thread on the bottom, and then I have colored thread on the top, and it's a yellow. Then I will just take my project and place it onto the machine, and I will put the presser foot down, and then thread the needle into the page, and then I will start stitching. Then when I'm done, I'll make sure the needle is up, and then pull it out, and then I will trim off the thread. And then I continue doing this for all of the elements on my page, and you can see how I've just added stitching down the middle. So that's how I machine stitch on my projects. I'm going to go ahead and finish stitching and then come back and show you what it looks like when I'm done. So here is what the layout looks like with some stitching. I did some down this border and I did some here. And then you can peel up the adhesive a little bit if you want the triangles to come off the page a little bit, or you can leave them flat. So you can determine how much texture and movement you want on your page and just fold it up along that stitched edge. And that is just a fun way to add dimension. So stitching on your page is really, really easy, especially if you're familiar with the sewing machine. So I have a crepe paper, the Pier chipboard frame, and they're old slide frames. And then Pebbles also has a camping collection, and these are tags from there. And they're just a fun tag that I want to add to this particular die cut. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to untie it and then retie it to the chipboard frame. And this is pretty easy to do, so anytime you can change up the way you're using a product, it makes it a little bit more fun. We'll do the same thing with the remember tag. Just untie it from the bow it was tied in and then tie it to the chipboard frame. If you have a tag that isn't already tied, then you can easily add twine to it and do this exact same technique. So we'll just overlap these two. And it's fun because this particular twine they've used, and this twine comes with these Pebbles tags, it starts to fray a little bit, which I think adds to the effect. So we'll just scoot this on top, and I always like to add hanging elements. So then I have a photo, and it is of us camping, and I'm going to place this on top, the frame on top of the photo. I'm going to use some glue dots to hold it in place. And I've cropped my photo to fit in the frame. So I just will lay the frame on top of a 4x6 photo and crop it, or else I'll measure ahead of time and print it. So whether you print at home or whether you like to crop your 4x6 photos, we'll just slide that tag down to where we want it, and then we'll adhere it to our layout. We're going to slightly overlap that blue triangle. And then sometimes if I have an element that I don't want moving around, I want it to stay in place, I will go ahead and add a little bit of adhesive behind it. If you more want things to just hang in free form, then you wouldn't need to do that step. Then I have some journaling, and I've printed it out, and I measured it so that it would fit on this particular width of the page, and I typed it. I'm going to use some brown stamping ink to ink the edges, just so it'll stand out a little bit. This is a fun technique. I actually printed journaling on the same colored craft cardstock as the rest of the layout. So it's almost tone on tone, but that stamping ink makes it stand out just a little bit more. So then there are some sticker sheets from the Echo Park Happy Camper line, and there's some fun element stickers. I would imagine this box will be really popular. And you can add border strip stickers as well as a title to your project. And I'm going to add a title without the stickers. And this particular memory was of my family's very first camping trip together, and it didn't go very well. And so I wanted to document that even though it didn't quite turn out how we thought it was going to, we actually are thinking of doing it again. And I think it's important to journal about the positive and the negative things. So if your event didn't quite turn out the way you thought it did, make sure to include that in your journaling as well, so that you get a true picture of your experiences as a family. We'll just move this sticker. And then I can take any of these word stickers and add them to the layout as I want. We'll use some of them on this frame. And then to give it a little bit more dimension, I'm going to take some adhesive foam dots, or rather enamel dots. And I'm just going to place a few around the page just to give it a little bit more texture and help it stand out a little bit more. So you can add different colors, different sizes. And then finally on the journaling block, I'm going to add a brad. And this particular brad is from an Echo Park Charming collection. And to add this, I'll need a paper piercer and then some kind of surface beneath my layout. And I typically use a foam piece that I've had for a long time. And it's quite thick, which allows me to pierce very easily into the project without getting into my desk. And I poke a hole and then I typically twist it around a few times just to enlarge the hole a little bit. And then I'll add my brad. So I have a few more stickers that I'm just going to add to random places. Now this sticker says outdoor fun and I just want to use the fun part of the sticker. So I'll just cut off the extra part of the sticker and I can place it back onto the sticker sheet and save it for later. If I don't think I'm going to use it, then I can just throw it away. So then if you continue to add projects or elements to this, you can just build it until you're done. But the nice thing about a freeform layout is that you're just playing, you're just having fun. It doesn't require a lot of planning. It's just getting things out that you love and creating a layout. So thank you for joining me for today's Memories Made video. Watch for a new video coming next week. If you've missed any of the videos in this series, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel or visit my blog at jengallacher.blogspot.com.